Okay, I'm live. Let me see what time is it? Morning. Good morning. It's still morning time on the East Coast. Still morning time on the West Coast too. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I have some tax updates for you. I have some announcements to make. I have some news I want to share. I've been having a lot going on. So I just don't understand how people have so much time to be on social media. Like, what am I doing wrong? Because I just don't have time for it. Like, by the time I'm done working, talking to the IRS agents, training IRS agents, updating clients, like I'm beat by the end of the day. Then I gotta go home and do another job, wife, mom. I don't know where y'all be getting all that time from. Good morning. If you are just um, joining me, I have some updates and some tax news that I want to share. And I am not gonna hold y'all long today. Today is Friday. Fridays are my wind down days. I try to get caught up on all my cases. I get ready for my next week. And next week, I will be traveling, um, working with a new enrolled agent and her staff next week. I'm excited about that. I will wait one more minute. I'll give people a chance to log on to join me. I don't know where you're tuning in from, but I'm broadcasting live on YouTube, my personal Facebook page, my business Facebook page, LinkedIn. Good morning, everyone. If you're not familiar with who I am, I'm Melinda Tolbert, the Queen of Taxes. Hey. Happy Friday. Happy November. It's my month. It's my birthday month. My birthday is in 22 days, and I will be celebrating from now until the end of the year. So I'm a I don't know what it is about people like me. We're always celebrating and doing for other people, and we rarely like have a big celebration for ourselves. So I'm not having a big celebration this year, but I am doing some stuff that I want to do for me um, this year. Okay, we got a few people on. We got a few people on. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. So I have a few tax updates. So just for the month of October, I received a total of, it was either five or six corporation audits. So corporations retained me for audit representation. The Internal Revenue Service have opened a new office that is focusing exclusively on pass through entities, the S Corp, your partnerships, the estate. Let me make sure I'm giving y'all all the right offices. The estates, and there was one more. Oh, the trust. So the partnerships, S corps, trusts, and estates. If you are trying to test the corporation waters this year, if you're a new tax preparer, or if you are an existing tax preparer, and this will be your first year trying to prepare corporation returns, tread lightly. I highly recommend that you absolutely 1000% know what you're doing before you prepare a corporation return alone. And the same thing goes for corporations. A lot of my audits, not as much as it used to be though. So I won't even say a lot, but some of my audits happens because of the tax preparer. And some of the tax preparers are new, and some of the tax preparers have been in the game 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, however many years. And but that doesn't mean that they're knowledgeable on corporation returns, because that's a whole nother set of laws, rules, regulations. Corporation returns are a whole nother beast. Um, but the reason why some of them are audited is because they let a new or a new an existing tax preparer, but new to corporation returns. They tried to support them because they were either a family member, a friend, or they were just recommended by someone, and that person ended up being the reason why they were audited, because of some items that you put on your tax return. It causes a red flag. So the Internal Revenue Service have what's called a DIF score, and I'm not going to do any audit training, but I have to tell you this background story about how examinations happen. So the IRS has what's called a DIF score. So when your tax return is submitted, it goes through this process, and your tax return is scored. If your tax return scores a very high score, then it's flagged for an audit. Some of the things, and I'll talk about the 1040 returns, the individual returns. Some of the things that causes people to have a high DIF score with 1040 returns is the some of the fields are empty, like the occupation field is empty. If they are self-employed, they don't have the NAICS code on the Schedule C, or they have forms on the tax return that doesn't match the business, that is probably a fake business. So let's just say that an individual filed a tax return and they were self-employed. They were a hairstylist. So they select the beauty services. They're supposed to use the code that goes with the beauty services. But the items on the return, some of the forms, let's say farming. So there's a farming form on the return, or there's a fuel tax credit form completed on the return, but that doesn't match that occupation. And so the IRS system is real funny. I'm telling y'all, I've seen it. I've seen it, and I do audits all the time. And one of the things that I ask the auditor all the time is, why was my client pulled for audit? And most of the time it's because of the shit on the return that don't make any sense for the occupation or the business. So be mindful of that. Um, Audits are happening. They just opened a new office, and the office, I don't even think it's up and running yet. I'm not sure, but I don't think it is. But I've already had a lot of corporation audits already. So that's tread lightly on the audits. The next update I wanted to give is, lately I've been seeing newlywed couples. They get married and they marry someone that has tax debt. A few questions or a few conversations I think should happen before you get married is, one, I need to know what your medical history is. I need to make sure you ain't got nothing, I need to make sure you clean. So you need to get a medical history before you get married. You need to discuss credit before you get married. You need to make sure that you're not marrying a scammer, or I'm just being real with y'all. These are some of the conversations that you need to have before you get married. But one of the most important things that you need to discuss with your spouse before you get married is their tax issues. I've seen people owe the Internal Revenue Service millions of dollars, and they get married and they file a tax return with their spouse, and now that $1 million+ that they owe, that debt becomes their spouse debt. I've actually had to fire a client because the spouse, no matter what I told them, no matter what information I sent them, no matter what numbers I told them to contact the Internal Revenue Service, they did not believe that because they filed a joint return that the one spouse debt became the other spouse's debt. Take it how you wish. I just go by the rules and regulations, okay? The rules are if you marry someone that owes the IRS and you file a tax return, it has to be a joint tax return. That's why you have your married filing separately tax return and you have your married filing joint tax return. If you file a married filing joint tax return, you are telling the IRS, I accept responsibility and I am agreeing to be responsible for whatever my spouse is responsible for. Okay. So before you file those joint returns, make sure that you have those situations. I mean, that discussion with your spouse. Um, Married filing separately is the only other way you can file if you're married. If you do a separate tax return from your spouse and that spouse owes the Internal Revenue Service or the state of Georgia or state of Alabama, if they owe anybody and you file a separate tax return, that debt won't become yours because you're filing your taxes separate from them. So keep it separate. Even if your spouse has gotten to a settlement program, I still do not recommend you filing a tax return with that spouse until that tax debt is zero. Because I'm just saying, you don't know what's going to happen in the future if that spouse decides to pick up and leave, or if they find they somebody that they want more than they want you. I don't know what the situation can be, but things like that happens. And guess what's going to happen if you file a joint tax return with that spouse that owes $1 million? When y'all get divorced, that debt is still going to be your debt, boo. Yes, it is. It's still going to be your debt. So tread lightly and have those uncomfortable conversations. I know they're uncomfortable, but it needs to be had before you say I do. Well, you can get married, but just don't file a joint tax return with that person, because once you file, that's it. You can't file 1 year and then you're educated about how it works, and then the next year you say, oh no, I'm not filing with them, file me separately. It's too late. You've already filed it. It only takes one joint tax return for that debt to become yours. Now, there are settlement programs and there are other programs for spouses that are innocent and injured. I'm not going to get into that. Ask your tax preparer how that works, but just make sure you understand all your options before you file a tax return with your spouse that has a tax debt. How are you going to find out if they got a tax debt? 9 times out of 10, they're not going to tell you. So you need to ask that before you sign that tax return on a joint tax return. Okay. I had to write down everything that I wanted to go over today because I get on here and I get to talking. And when I log off, I'd be like, dang, I forgot to talk about this or I forgot to mention that. So I have a list today. My life consists of a list and my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it does not exist. If you text me, you probably gonna get a response back 3 to 5 business days, depending on what my week looks like. I promise you, it's not just you; it's everybody, except my kids. Everybody else, it's like I can only take in so much at a time. And right now, I have a lot of audits going on. The holidays are coming up. My son is graduating high school. I got a lot going on. So please bear with me if you've texted me and I haven't responded, or if you tried to call me and I haven't responded. Please give me grace. Give me grace. I think that was all the tax news I had that I wanted to. Oh, the processing time for installment agreements. So before all these new IRS agents were hired, it will take about, I would say, 45, maybe 60 days, but 60 is on the real maybe ish high side. it didn't take us this long to get a installment agreement or a partial pay installment agreement approved. The processing time and the approval time, because if it's a partial pay installment agreement, it has to have a manager approval, and you have to have supporting documentations. If the amounts that you're telling the Internal Revenue Service that you have to pay for bills on your financial statement, those amounts have to be verified if those amounts are over the standard amount. And the cost of living is so damn high right now. So the Internal Revenue Service national and standard living amounts, it ain't enough. So every financial package that I have to submit, I have to submit a huge packet because we have to submit all the receipts and everything. I say all that to say the processing time right now, like I'm in month 5 to get a manager approval on 3 of my partial pay installment agreements that I'm working on. And I call, like we have a day each every other day or one day of the week, we call and get all our updates on our clients. And I just got off the phone with a manager this morning, and like this, I've been waiting on a manager approval for 5 months. And it's like it's not anything that I need to submit. It's not anything that my client needs to do. Me calling every day is not going to speed the process up, but at least they know that this person have somebody representing them, and they're going to call and get updates on them. And I just have to make sure that my client's files don't end up at the bottom of somebody's pile. Whether you are a client of mine, whether you are a client of anybody else's and you're trying to get in a partial pay installment agreement approval or in a regular installment agreement approval, is taking 4 to 6 months. This is not the average time. And actually, I actually had a client that did something on her account without notifying me, and it took her case out of queue for manager approval, and she was like only a few days away for being approved. And it's like, so now we have to start all over again. So one thing I will tell you, if you hire representation, please allow your enrolled agent, CPA, or attorney to do their job. If you're going to try to do it for them, I recommend you saving your money and trying to get it done on your own. The reason, and I want to remind you, the reason that you hire representation is because you know professionally you don't have the skills and the knowledge to get the job done. So please allow your enrolled agent, CPA, or your tax attorney to do their jobs. We have no control over how long it takes the Internal Revenue Service to approve you for one of their settlement programs. For an offering compromise, it can take 18 to 24 months. I'm just being real with you. For a partial pay in a regular installment agreement, it's taking 4 to 6 months. And for a non-collectible status too, that has to go through manager approval most of the time as well. So I haven't had any non-collectible cases in a while because I just don't like them. Even if my client is only paying $2 per month, I would rather them pay $2 per month rather than be in a non-collectible status where they are monitored. So please give us grace. I promise you, if you're a client of mine, I am doing everything I can to get your tax issue resolved as fast. I promise you, as fast as I can. But at the end of the day, it's not up to me. After I submit your file, it's kind of like when you submit a tax return, it's up to the Internal Revenue Service how fast that return is going to get processed. And it may be the person that has the file, it may be the manager. So some managers are probably working faster than others. Some managers will go on leave and you won't know until you call and elevate the case to find out, well, what's happening. Why is it taking so long for management approval? I've submitted all of my supporting documentations. My client has submitted everything that you requested. Like, what's the holdup? What's the holdup? And the bad thing about that is the penalties and the interest is still accruing while you're waiting on the Internal Revenue Service. Even worse, when that settlement plan is approved, interest is still accruing. So it's kind of like damned if you're doing, damned if you don't. I always tell my clients, just pay this shit off as fast as you can because the interest don't stop. Um, so okay, what else? What else? Tax Court TV. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm already 20 minutes in this video, and that's why I have to make a list because I start talking and I'm just a tax geek, and I literally can sit and talk about taxes all day. Tax Court TV. I'm so excited for you all to tune in this fall to Tax Court TV. We have some amazing guests. I have learned so much just by having conversations with former inmates. So one thing that well, let me tell you a little bit about Tax Court TV. So Tax Court TV is a platform that myself and my tax attorney, Josie Harris Walton, are launching this fall. It's a platform for tax professionals or taxpayers, business owners, anyone that has been sentenced to prison because of something they did with the Internal Revenue Service, whether they, one of the cases, 66-year-old mom and wife, and she has a medical disability. She was sentenced to prison because allegedly the Internal Revenue Service said that she prepared a fraudulent corporation return. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to give you too much, but we have been posting little snippets of the show. But I will say this. The IRS, the Department of Justice, the government, they don't give a damn about your age. They don't give a damn about you having no baby. They don't give a damn about you getting pregnant. They don't care nothing about you being a wife. They don't care nothing about nothing. Okay? So nothing that you do is gonna make that judge feel sorry for you. They like this lady was 66 years old and receiving an indictment and was sentenced to prison. And she had just had surgery. She had some kind of medical condition. Like it's y'all, it's bad. Another former tax preparer was sentenced to I think it was almost 6 years for allegedly stealing identity and preparing fraudulent tax returns. That interview had me boohoo crying because I just did not. Oh my God. And I'm choking up now. Y'all, I had no idea that some of the things that people go through, the IRS says that she owes them over $100,000. So of course, if you owe that, if that's the government loss, you have to pay that back in restitution. I had no idea that while you are working when you're doing federal time, Fed time, when you're working, they garnish your wages. So if you're only making 20 cents an hour, they're garnishing a portion of that 20 cents. And so even when they are released, from interviewing them, to me, it kind of feels like, damn, how can you get ahead? Like, you finally got a job. Number one, there are so many damn stipulations that they have to abide by and conditions that they have to abide by when they're released from prison. Like a lot of people don't want to hire a convicted felon. That's the first problem. A lot of people don't want to approve a convicted felon for a home or an apartment. That's another issue that they have. So they can't get a job. They can't get anywhere to stay. If they do have a job, the wages are being garnished. And that can be 25% of your wages are being garnished. How the hell can you get ahead like that? Especially if you coming home to nothing. Like a lot of these people are coming home to nothing. They're starting over. They got kids that are looking for mama or dad to make something happen when they come home, but they can't because they can't get ahead. Because if they do find a job, it's probably going to be some bullshit because a lot of people don't want to hire inmates. And so that's something else that I want to talk about with other business owners. Like, why, what is it that make, especially small businesses, like, why can't we give former inmates a second chance? And I hate to have to say former inmates, but that's it is what it is. Like, why can't we give them a second chance? Yes, they made a bad decision. A lot of us make bad decisions. A lot of y'all make way more worse decisions than they make, but some of y'all motherfuckers just don't get caught. So I don't judge. You cannot judge people by the decisions that they make. Okay, y'all got to be able to give people a second chance. So now the mom is out. She, thank God, finally found a good job. Things are finally starting to fall in place for her. I actually spoke with her last week, and she told me she finally got approved for a home. Like, things are just really starting to fall in place for her. But she's been released, I think, over 5 years. So it should not take an additional 5 years when somebody is released for them to start getting on their feet. Like, it's like you're released, the government kicked them out, go figure it out. And I remember one of the tax professionals saying that she felt like it's a revolving door. And I feel the same way, because if you get out, you got to have a drug test. And oh my gosh, they will take your phone. They'll take your phone. They took her phone, her personal phone, and they don't give you any notifications in advance that they're coming to take your phone. So they come and they take your phone, and I guess it depends on what your charge is, but they took her phone, and I guess they is something that they have to go through in their system that takes about a week for them to go through to make sure that she's not doing nothing that she's not supposed to be doing. But like, that's a lot for anybody. That I It's a lot, y'all. So, but I'm excited about Tax Court TV. Um, that's just a little snippet of what we have going on. It's going to launch this fall. If you are a taxpayer, a business owner, anybody that has had to do time because of charges from the Internal Revenue Service or the state, we want to talk to you. We want to find out how we can help you get your life back. Like, some people come home to a country club, a husband and kids, they can get right back in motion, but a lot of people don't come home to that. So I'm ready for y'all to see that, because I know, and when God tells me something, it's gonna happen. This show is about to be a game changer for the tax industry, the legal process. I just see so many things happening with this platform. It's not just another show talking about reality. I No, this is real life. Like, reality is entertaining, but what kind of lives are you changing? Like, who are you helping? And that's what I'm all about. So that's our goal for Tax Court TV. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna release more information on the exact launch date and the platforms that you can watch it on. What else I got going on? Oh, I have a conference. I have so much going on for the month of November. I'll be speaking at, if you are in the tax resolution industry, this is one of the most highly anticipated conferences every year, where all the tax resolution agents gather, and we learn from speakers and real life experiences, and we learn from the best of the best in the industry. That's how I learn everything I know. I have a mentor, Michael Rosberg. Everybody knows that's my Ross father. And ASTPS has been a game changer for me as well. So this year, I am so honored to be a speaker. I am going to be speaking alongside the best of the best. I'm excited about that. I don't tilt my hat off to myself enough, but the rest of this year, I'm celebrating all year. I'm really excited about that opportunity. and I know it's going to be the first of many. I've spoken a lot of places, but I don't think I've ever spoken to um, a audience with this many people. It's sold out, and from my understanding, the online conference, because you can either come in person or virtual, but I think it was like 3 more virtual seats left. So that just tells you how popular this conference is, and it's a big deal. And I am saluting myself for being selected as a speaker. I think that is it. How long? I've been on here 30 minutes. I'm supposed to be on here 15 minutes. Let me see if I have any questions. Hey, Legacy Queen, how are you? I'm ready to see those letters behind your name, EA. You're so close. I know you are. You're so close. It doesn't look like I have any questions. I just wanted to jump on and give you all an update because I don't have the extra time to be on social media all day, every day. When y'all figure out what I'm missing, because I don't know. I don't have time. I don't have the time. I don't have the patience. And honestly, if it's not making me any money, I'm not that really invested in it. Like, yeah, I'm invested in closing out these cases right now so I can take my month long vacation in December. That's my goal. So I don't see any questions. If I missed your question, because sometimes there's a delay on my end, I don't see your questions until after I log off. If I notice that I missed the question, I'll try my best to respond to it. Oh, I can't forget a day with MJ. So, a day with MJ is a new service that I'm offering for new enroll agents, CPAs, and tax attorneys that are interested in starting and launching their tax resolution career. It is a very comprehensive training. I fly into your city. I am doing a tour. I've been silently offering this service. I have to perfect a service and make sure that it's something that I'm really going to enjoy doing. And I absolutely enjoy doing it. This is another big thing that God has launched for me. I have the one for the month of November is next week, and it doesn't open back up until January. I think January 23rd is my next availability date. MelindaTolbert.com is where you can go to get information on a day with MJ. Now, I am only approving 12 tax professionals per year. You have to be a licensed enroll agent, a CPA, or a tax attorney, or you have to have a member on your team with those credentials. If you are studying to become an enroll agent, we do have a EA boot camp that we launched last year. We can help you pass the enroll agent exam, but you won't qualify to apply for a day with MJ until you become a licensed EA. And license doesn't mean you pass all 3 exams. You actually have to have your received your EA card in the mail and have your EA number. And you can call and get the status of your application. I would say maybe about 3 weeks after you've approved, I would start calling to get the status of my application. And if your application is approved, even before you receive your EA card in the mail, they'll give you your EA number over the phone. So make sure that you are licensed before you submit the application. If you're not licensed, your application will not be considered. I am only accepting 12 people per year. So that's once per month. That's all I can handle, y'all. That's all I can handle is once per month. We'll see how it goes this year. Next year, I may be able to offer at least 2 per month, but to start with, I have to make sure that I'm not putting too much on my plate. So this for the year of 2025, I'm only able to offer 12 spots per year, once a month. And don't forget, you have to be licensed. And I fly into your city. I'm doing a tour for 2025. So after you get those applications submitted, I'll announce the 12 tax professionals that are approved for the 2025 tax year. We'll assign your dates based off of what city you are in. And I am not going into the same city twice. So if like next week, I'm going to St. Louis, Missouri. I won't be going back to St. Louis, Missouri for the year of 2025. And I'm doing it like that because the tools and the resources that I have and the strategies that I have, they are personalized really for a smaller market. So if you are in a small market, what I have will really, really work for you because I'm in a small market, and I'll be sharing everything that worked for me. Some of it costs, but some of it is free as well. Like when I first started, I didn't have a big marketing budget. So I had to make it work. I had to get out in the streets and market old school. So I'm excited about A Day with MJ. We're going on tour next year, once a month. So if you are a new EA, CPA, or a tax attorney that's interested in either scaling your current resolution business or starting your tax resolution business, um, let's do it. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Okay, that's all I have for today. I went way over my time as usual, but I really do appreciate you all for your support. Extra thank you to all of my clients that have entrusted me and my team to help you resolve all your tax issues for the year 2024. I am not taking any more new clients unless I've already had a consultation with you and you have a invoice pending. Those are the only new clients that I'll be taking. Everybody else, my books are closed and they will not reopen until January 2025. I'll be traveling the rest of this year, speaking at conferences, attending conferences, and enjoy my family because I've worked so hard this year, and my family has had to share me with the world this year because I've been everywhere, and I still have like 5 more trips to go, and we only got 2 more months left in this year. So, thank you all again for your support. Don't forget, if you have any tax issues, if you get that LT11 in the mail, that means the IRS about to garnish your shit. They about to start taking your stuff. So you better give me a call, 706-507-2481, or you can reach me, or you can schedule online, www.mjtax.com. Reach me. The only way that you can reach me is through my assistant. Unfortunately, I do not accept, and I can't accept any unscheduled calls. If I take unscheduled calls, I would never get any work done. I promise you. So it's better that way for me and for you to make sure that I give you the time that you need, and I'm available to answer all the questions that you have for me. I would rather do that on a scheduled call versus you calling and I'm picking up, but I'm in the middle of doing something. So I'm listening to you, but I'm really not paying any attention to you. I don't do business that way. So that's why I don't take unscheduled calls. I promise. I'm a systems girl. So it's all about the systems for me. I don't respond to social media posts. I have a full staff. Please contact my office if you're looking for a licensed tax professional to help you resolve your tax issues. Peace, everybody. Have a happy Friday. It's the first of the month. Go get those bills paid. If you're a business owner, it's time for you to start shopping for all your office supplies and run it up so you can write it off next year. Write it off for real and have receipts for real. All right, y'all. I will talk to you when I can. Peace.